I like to thank the grace of heaven, the virtues of the masters, compassion and mercy of grand predecessor, transmitters, temple masters, lecture temple masters, for the opportunity to talk about the topic today on the Tao Te Ching, or Classic of the Way and the Virtue, Chapter 2. Okay? All right, so let's start. Okay, so this is just an outline. Okay, all right. So what's Chapter 2? Now, if you know the Tao Te Ching, they really don't have titles for each chapter. I mean, just it's added on by people later. I mean, so this chapter, I mean, okay, so I'm using the Guan Jiao, right? 或体用章, okay? Or, 或 means or, right? Or. Now, this is based on Lecture Liu's lectures, okay, or whatever. But if you go on the internet and look up, the Tao Te Ching, most of them would not have this. They would say 养人 or something like that. 养人, pay, nurturing the human, the person. Okay, most of them. I'll just give you a heads up. So because so what I'm trying to tell you now is, okay, I'm using this title, and then you go on the internet, you say, hey, just what's this title? So just to let you know, okay. But this one is more appropriate, and there's a reason, okay, because it flows from the first chapter. First chapter is Guan Miao Zhang, right? You guys had the handout from last time, okay? So that's the one half part. I mean, you can say the one half. Because remember, it's about oneness, right? The Tao. It's about the Tao. But the Tao, I don't want to say have two parts, but there are two aspects. You can say two sides of the coin, okay? So one is that essence, right? So just the previous class, we talk about why Tao is precious, because it's an essence, right? There's an essence that's formless, nameless, all that stuff, right? From chapter 1, right? Now, but at the same time, even though it has its essence, it's a bantis, but it has its what? Function and use, okay? So that's called the jiao, okay? Or jiao, okay? So guan means to observe, to contemplate, observe the manifestations, or you can say applications of the essence or the Tao. That's why they say 或体用, okay? All right? Okay, so that's it, okay? So that's what the theme of this chapter is all about, okay? Okay, so, okay. I mean, you guys, I don't want to read the Chinese, but, basically the translation, I'm following very close to what Derek Lin did, because it's pretty good. I mean, I changed some of it. I mean, some of it I disagree with him, but that's okay. So when the world knows beauty as beauty, ugliness arises. Now, this is pretty much, okay, so world is 天下. Literally, it means, right, first two words, literally means all below heaven. That's what it means, okay? So it means the whole world, okay? And then the next two, right, this, 节知, right? 节知, 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 节, first tone, right? 节 means all, everybody, all knows, okay? So that's what it means, all knows, okay? All right. And then 美, beauty, 美, okay? Okay, now in this case, this beauty doesn't mean just physical beauty, obviously. It also, another, similar, what's hint, it's like it's what's perfect, what's perfect, okay, what's awesome, okay, all right. So so it doesn't refer to just physical beauty, but it refers to some kind of inclusive universal attributes or qualities, okay? All right, so that's the first phrase, okay? So then in this case, beauty can be relative, transient, or intangible, tangible as well as intangible, okay? So it's very inclusive. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very, it's broad. It's broad. Maybe that's a better term, okay? So, all right. So the meaning of the first line, if you want to translate the formula, is when people of the world know or recognize what is beautiful, right? Remember what I talk about beauty, then they will say it's beautiful, or they will acknowledge or agree or know it's beautiful. Get it? Okay. All right. Then the second phrase, I mean the last part, right? Okay. I don't have space, so I didn't want to go into it. So if you want to do, Derek Lin does it, okay, so you guys should, look at his video on YouTube. This is 思, right? 思恶已, right? Okay. 思also means then too. Then, therefore, thus. It also means that. 已 means already or to, T-O-O, to, like also, yeah. or already. You know, it has several meanings. You look it up. Okay, so that means then something also, right? Or already, or thus also, or thus. Okay, now this word okay, first meaning. Okay, so what is not considered beauty? Okay, so first meaning of it's ugliness. I mean, there's a the most recognized meaning is evil. It's evil, bad, stuff like that. But also one of its meanings is ugliness too, by the way. Okay, you can look it up, all right? Okay, so in this case, because it matches against beauty, right? Because we want to show its complements. Yeah, upplements. Yeah. Dualism or dualism. Yeah, dualism. Okay, all right. So we want to show that. Okay, so it makes sense because think about it. If we know, so that's what I'm saying. If people know the definition of what beauty is, right? Then if it's not doesn't conform to that definition, then we say that's not beauty, right? That's not beauty, right? That's no longer beauty, i.e., ugliness. Okay, that's what I'm. So it's a duality, whatever. Okay, so that's the first line meaning, normal meaning. So therefore, if people know if people consider, if all the people know what what understand what beauty is, right, and call it beauty, then they also would know, therefore, what ugliness is. So that's why ugliness also arises. Make sense? Okay, I mean that's the very very basic understanding translation. So that's why first meaning of ugly is ugliness also arises. Okay, so that makes sense. Now, that's the typical standard definition. Most translators would agree, scholars would agree that, okay, that's basically what it means. But what Lao Tzu, he wants to go above because we're talking about the Tao, okay? Lao Tzu is not interpreting it that way, okay? So he's saying, what is considered, okay, second meaning from this, what is considered beauty or ugly or based on names and forms, labels or labels and appearance and forms, or names and appearances. Okay, it's called Ming and Xiang. Okay, all right, because that what is considered right beauty or ugly or not beauty. Okay, if it's based on names or labels and appearances or forms, then it's no longer ideal. It's no longer the perfect, right? It's no longer the absolute. It's no longer right. It's relative. It becomes dualistic, and it's based on names and labels or appearances. Okay, so the second meaning of literally it means bad or evil. It just means that what Lecture Liu is saying that means we have deviated from our Buddha nature, from the absolute, from the perfect, from that perfect perspective, that view, that perfect perspective. Okay. So therefore, that is, in other words, objective, I say standards of beauty, non-beauty, are relative and transient, and thus have descended into this conditional phenomena, 现象, from the ideal. Get it? From the ideal, you say, from the Buddha nature perspective or whatever, absolute Dharma Dhatu perspective, that type of thing. Li Tian, you can say from the Li Tian or Shen Tian, okay? So this becomes all Hou Tian, names, labels, and this. As a matter of fact, this is part of it's called the 5 categories. If you want to go into detail, it's in the Buddha nature. I updated the Buddha nature list. Okay, it's the first 2, Ming, Xiang, okay, are the first 2, and they're related to the third 3 subtle conceptions. Okay, anybody know what they are, right? The number 3 subtle conceptions. I'm going to talk about it later, but never mind. It's just number 3. You guys can look it up. Okay, all right. So now, okay, so understanding what Lao Tzu meant by this, okay, from the first line. But it also means that does not mean that we cannot make distinctions. Okay, it doesn't mean that, we say, oh, then you have a discriminating mind. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that, we have to acknowledge that there is going to be beauty and ugliness or whatever you want to call it, even though, we say it's labels, but we have to acknowledge that they do exist, right? But we have to use our what? Mahaprajna, our wisdom in dealing with the phenomenal world. And okay, so ultimately at the highest level, we don't make a distinction. We just say, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. not because of a label, you get it? Or not because of the appearance or a form. Make sense? Okay, so that would be the ideal way. Okay, that's what Lao Tzu is trying to, set the tone for this. Okay, so the key point of this chapter, I'm going to summarize too, but then I'm going to say right now here is that it's not that we cannot make distinctions of just in this phenomenon, but to approach this phenomenal world with just the proper or ideal perspective in examining it or scrutinizing it or in its practice and implementation. Get it? So that's very important. Okay. So it just means that there is a proper or a ideal perspective or way of examining or scrutinizing the phenomenal world or in its practice, in the practice within the, okay. So there is an ideal way, and that is the way of the sages, okay, or you can say what Buddha taught, and how it's through our Mahaprajna, okay, all right, okay. So this proper ideal perspective is the embodiment of that essence and the function of Tao, which all possess, okay? And we have to manifest this in our daily lives, okay? So it's like that chapter 1, going back to chapter 1. Okay, so second line, yeah. Okay, it's only 5 lines in the chapter, but one of them, I think the third or fourth one is very long. But anyway, but it's interesting. It's okay. So so this means 皆知善, right? That means all knows the good as good, 以为善, right? Then 思不善意, okay? So now, yeah, I translate 善 as 不善 as malice. I mean, some people say evil, okay? I mean, that's okay. That's okay. Malice means bad, okay? It just means not good too, okay? Right? So, okay. So when everyone knows what is good, I use this because it's a label, then they will do it. Now, this good is no longer manifested. Get it? Same idea as the beauty, okay? So this good is no longer manifest from our Buddha nature, because this good now comes from knowledge, or it's based on, when I say names, labels, it could say based on laws, or traditions, or culture. Some cultures say, hey, this is good, or this is not good. Or other cultures say, no. What you call good is not good, or, vice versa, okay? All that, okay? All right. So once we start relying on what we consider good to be good, that's the problem. Then we have, once again, lower ourselves or reach into a conditioned state. 有为, get it? There's a reason, right? There's a rationale, or because that's what the law says, or because that's what the tradition does, right? Or whatever, or society agrees on, okay? So therefore, this is no longer the best way. It's called 下策, right? That's what Liu Jiangshi said. Lecturer Liu said. 下策, 策 literally means bad plan. Plan or scheme or move, stuff like that. So it's just no longer the best way, okay? So it's called 下策, all right? Okay, because it's why? It's based on this, right? So everything is based on that. It's conditional, right? Everything's conditional. Okay, now, because, and why is that? It's bad. It's no longer the good way because we become accustomed to labels and forms. Get it? Either you grow up with it. We're now accustomed to eating meat. Whatever, because that's what society says. Society says it's good for you. Or, the government says it's good for you. Farmers say it's good for you, right? And so it's no good, okay? So we can't do that. So we become reliant on them and then become attached. That's the problem. Hence, we have lost our original nature. We're no longer relying on original nature. That's what Lao Tzu is trying to get at, drive at, saying, hey, there's beauty and ugliness. What, ugliness arises. When there's good, but also bad, it's not because it's just on the superficial level, yeah, there's duality, there's evil and good. But Lao Tzu knows that already. He's not saying that he's hinting that, wait a minute, we have lost the way. You can say that. We have lost the way. We are now being in this conditional phenomena, and we're just following the norms of this, which is not the true way or the ideal perspective. Remember what I talked about? Okay, so he wanted us, Lao Tzu, to return to our pure original nature, or we call it 淳朴, right? Literally means simple. That's what literally means, simple and honest. But it means pure original nature. Untainted, you can say, immaculate, impeccable. All also terminology. Or unperturbed, 如如, you know, 如如不动, and all that. So that whatever we manifest, yeah, when our Buddha nature is true, honest and beautiful, okay? This is the best way. That's called the Sangce, okay? So basically, okay, that's okay. So from a conventional social perspective, though, perspective, if you were, you know, a ruler, governor, okay, sociology, you would say, hey, you know, to do what is good based on what we know is good, it's already pretty good because that can lead to a harmonious society. I mean, true, okay. However, from Lao's perspective, this is no longer the ideal way because it is no longer the original way. Get it? It's no longer based on what is the absolute, true, unchanging perspective. It's from our Buddha nature, okay? Or it's the Tao. You can say the Tao, okay? Get it? All right? Okay. So why? Because the most ideal good is not associated or tied to names or appearances. 名跟相. It's not tied. It's not dependent on that. The highest good is not based on that, right? Makes sense, right? Because by basing good on names and labels, all what we do as good become conditioned on what we consider as good or what we learn. So that means if we don't learn about that, then that's not good. Doesn't make sense, right? Okay. So the key is we have to manifest our Buddha nature. Then we can be worthy of ourselves and that know that we are Buddhas ourselves. So that's 对得起自己, right? That's the translation. Be worthy of our true selves. 对得起自己 or 真自己 something. Okay? All right. Okay. So he's laying down the two, you know, he's using beauty, ugliness, and good and not good as the starting point. Okay? Because that's the broad. Remember I say that's very broad, right? Very inclusive. Okay. So now let's go to, that's the first two sentences. Then the third sentence, it's very long now. There are 6 pairs. Okay, unfortunately I don't have the Chinese, but you know, then you can read it. It's a poem. It's like a poem, or you know. Anyway, but it's six. Okay, 6 pairs. What I mean by pairs, this means thus. Sorry, this word means thus. Okay, thus, therefore. Okay, hence. Okay, then the pairs are these two. Okay. The second and third word of the next 6 phrases, okay, 6 pairs. I'm sorry, 6 pairs, and then there is what we call. Then there's xiang in here, okay. They all have xiang. The next 6 phrases will have that term xiang. So in this case, the xiang means mutual or each other, simple, okay, each other. And then there's a verb, or an adjective. You can say verb, okay. So thus, being and non-being produce each other, okay, and that's what it means, okay. Second word means existence or having, being, okay, 有, right, this word. And third word, 无, means non-being or emptiness, okay, void. And the last 2 words means to produce each other, to mutually create, produce. They produce each other. So that's very interesting. So people are saying, whoa, okay, they say, okay, the first one is, okay, I can see here ending up here, right? Because things come into being and then die. They disappear. Makes sense. Yeah. So you can say nothingness or non-emptiness can come from existence, right? So that's what it is. So anything that exists can also be said. So thus, non-existence or empty can be produced by. Okay, that makes sense. I understand that. But what about the other way? Remember we say they're mutually, right? They're mutually, okay. So, but how can non-existence or emptiness be produced? Well, here's the answer. 100 years ago, did you exist? But then from that nothing or non-existence, we come into existence. Isn't that true? Because of karma. Okay, in this case, because of karma. Right? So our existence is due to karma. Right?
Well,
right?
Scientific one's the same thing. It's like energy and matter are...
Yeah. Are interchangeable. Right. Energy is invisible, right? It has no form, right? It's no form. But it could create an atom or okay, yeah. Okay, so all phenomena come in existence due to causality. Very important, okay? So therefore, if there's a beginning and end due to conditions that are present or not present, okay? So this already hints at there's causality here. Get it? this has causality. Okay? All right? Okay? Okay, where are we? Okay, so all phenomena is conditioned and changeable, right? Conditions that exist, they converge, right? And then they disappear. So when the conditions exist and converge, then it appears. Then when the conditions disappear, that thing is gone, right? Okay? So deeper meaning is this. This is what Liu Jiangshi said. Okay, if we can enter into our Buddha nature, if we can be at one, okay, then we are liberated from all phenomena and yet not separated from that. That's this oneness. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's a oneness. It's a similar theme from chapter 1, okay? You are liberated, you have transcended manifested forms, but yet you are still not separated. It's kind of like, it's like paradoxical, but it's not, because everything is one. Remember?
Well, you're not, let's say, constrained by.
Right. That's what that. Yeah, we're liberated means we're not constrained, even though we still have a human body. So that's very important. So that's why we can still be a Buddha. Okay, even though we have a body, even though we are within phenomena, right? But yet we can be liberated. Get it? Okay. All right. And this is by the way, 境界相 is the third subtle conception, by the way. Okay, 第三个三系. Okay, 境界相. Okay, or 能见相, something like that. I forgot something. It's number. Okay, it's the third one. Okay, it's 境界相 or 现象. Sorry, 现象. Number 3, perception of objects, empirical world, or the objective illusory world. Okay, all right. So that's the third. By the way. Okay, so existence is what? How did existence come about? It's due to the aroused mind and stirred thought. 起心动念. 起心, I say aroused mind. Yeah, you can say perturbed mind. You can say that too. And stirred thoughts. Remember, this flows from the 三系. Remember the 3 subtle conceptions? That's how you get the thoughts stirring, right? Okay? Which in turn creates what? Phenomena. Because we consider all that is impermanent to be permanent. That is truth. Not realizing that this is an inverted view. Okay? So, because we all think now. Because remember, we have this now, right? We are in the 境界相, right? We perceive objects as real now, right? Even though they're illusory. And so we think that that's permanent. Get it? So that's how, once you have that, it's like a magnet, attractive force. Then we're going to come into existence. Get it? Into this illusory world. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Before 现象 or 境界相.
Oh, there are 2 others. Yeah, 无明 and yeah.
At that time, they were not formed yet.
No. I agree. Yeah.
They're still in your
Yeah.
head.
No. Still abstract. Yeah. Still
Right.
formless.
That's
Still
why
formless.
You need to go there.
Right.
And don't
Right.
start. Don't
But
even
this is the
start.
formless. Once you have 境界相,
That's already-
you have form. That's what I'm saying. You have exist. You're in forms. Okay. Anyway. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, because the second one is 能见, right? 一个是无明, then the second one is 能见相 or 转向. Same thing. 能见相, 转向 it's the same.
业相
Okay.
转向现
Yeah.
象
Yeah. Okay. Or 无明业相. Yeah. That's the first one. Okay. All right. So anyway, so when we consider conscious thoughts to be in line with the principles of earth, to be normal, not realizing that we have become sentient beings. Okay. See, we think conscious thoughts now. That comes into our 5 skandhas? The 5th one. Okay. Well, yeah, 5th. Cognition or consciousness, right? Okay. In line with the principles of earth to be normal. We think, hey, this is normal. This is the way it is. We have already fallen to that level. Then that's why we're sentient beings. Okay. So if we do not have keys, do we have this? Okay. Any stirred thoughts around that without ignorance? That means not ignorance. This you can say it's ignorance. Okay. 无明 to the first one, the first 3 subtle conception, third subtle. The first one, 无明, it's called ignorance. Okay. Because of ignorance, we have that. Our mind is starting to stir. Remember, we don't have a form yet at that point, the first subtle conception. But because of ignorance, you say 无明, or we say ignorance, okay? That means you do not truly understand the principle, or know the principle, or at one with the principle, the truth, okay? Then, okay, so if we don't have this, i.e. we don't have ignorance, in other words, the first one, the first third subtle conception, then it is called the mind of no mind, which is the true eternal mind, or the mind of no beginning and end, mind of our Buddha nature. Or you can say, 即心即福. That's what it means. Okay, 即心. That means this heart is Buddha. Okay, it's the normal translation is non-conscious mind. The literal translation means this mind is Buddha. Okay, now what to talk about this mind is not the conscious mind. Okay, it's the mind of no mind, or the mind of Buddha. Okay, the Buddha nature mind. Yeah, whatever. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's what it means. Okay, so that's the first. You can say the first duality pair. First pair, right? That both being and being can produce each other. Okay, so they're not interrelated. They're linked. You can say they're linked. Okay, they're connected, linked. Okay. Now the second pair, here comes he used 难易相成. Okay. Okay. So I would say 难 is difficulty, right? 易 is easy or ease, and then 相成. So we say last two are 相成. It means to complement or match each other. That's a literal translation. That's what it means. Okay. So we say they bring about each other. Okay. So that's the translation. So makes sense. Okay. First, whenever we're learning things, learning about Buddha nature, learning to practice the 万愿放下一念不生, man, that is difficult because I keep thinking, I keep having crazy thoughts. I can't focus, I can't concentrate, right? So initially, whatever we do, learning, be anything, riding a bicycle, I keep falling off. But after a while, what happened, right? Ice skating, since this is winter, I just slip. But hey, after a while. So same thing, right? Everything are difficult to learn and practice initially, right? Isn't that true? That's true. But after learning and practicing for some time, what was originally difficult becomes what? Simple and routine. It's no big deal. I can ride a bicycle. You never forget it now, right? Once you learn, you never forget it. Same thing with ice skating. Same thing with roller skating, etc., etc. Swimming, same thing, right? So what can be difficult, what is difficult can be easy, right? Can become easy. So they bring about each other, remember? Okay, now, what about the other way? How can something be easy can become difficult? That's interesting. How can something that's easy already, that you find that simple, can be difficult? Here's the thing. Remember we talk about causality? There are a lot of conditions that exist, converge, and then disappear. Well, when we were learning what was difficult to become easy, it's based on certain conditions, right? Based on certain conditions that exist. But then, once we learn something becomes simple, but then new conditions come about. So what is routine or easy never lasts. Never is not, because conditions and factors constantly change. Make sense? Okay? And they appear and disappear. Okay? Constantly change. So what is now easy or routine will become difficult. For example, let's use cellular phone. Let's use cell phone since everybody has one. Okay, when you first bought the cell phone, right? Let's say, I don't know, iPhone, okay, OS 11 or whatever. Okay. So you learn how to do that. First it's difficult because you're not used to it. But then everything's hunky-dory. A year later, guess what? iPhone users, we're going to update OS 12 or whatever. Okay, OS 12. They got new stuff now, new wrinkles. Get it? New functions, new applications, whatever, okay? Enhanced mode, whatever. And then so you have to relearn. So it's no longer routine, right? What you know before does not apply anymore. See, so these conditions change. Get it? So, I'm using that same example, okay? Driving car, same thing. You got a new model car, fancy car. I don't know where all the buttons and dials are, but I know how to drive, right? I know how to drive the old car, but the new one's different, right? So same idea, okay? All that, all right? Okay, so thus, difficult and easy is a cycle. When you think about it, it's a cycle or measure of our progress. So there's a constant evolving cycle. Evolving, is that the right term? Yeah, evolving cycle. Yeah. So you something new, right? It's difficult, but then you master it over time, right? And so it becomes easy. But then something else new comes again. You get it? So it's a constant cycle. Yeah, make sense? Okay, so that's what's called 成就, right? 成就 means what? Achievement? So that's why he used 相乘. Get it? Okay? So it's a cycle. Okay? So bring about each other. Okay? All right? So likewise, in our cultivation, we have to start with the easy part first and gradually change to our more difficult habits and tempers. Okay, we have to do that. We have to do that. All right. So don't say, "Oh, I wanna," like a lot of people say, "Oh, I wanna be a vegetarian first." Yeah. Well, maybe it's easy for some people, but generally speaking, it's probably not that easy, right? So you do it in steps, right? Baby steps, all that stuff. Okay. So same idea. All right. So difficult and ease. Okay, and easy, ease. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, what happened here? Okay. So do not constrain. Lecture Liu said a lot of times one of our biggest obstacles that we have is we either probably unknowingly we constrain or limit ourselves to a restricted range. That's what it is, right? 2D 围绕, right? Literally it means, 画地, sorry. You draw on the ground a picture, a circle, and that becomes your jail. 牢 means your prison. Yeah, your prison. Okay, so do not assume that our habits or temperament or part of a human are innate and changeable. A lot of people say that, right? Say,
That's the way it is.
yeah, so I'm born a bad temper. I don't know. I'm born to curse. I don't know. I'm born to an alcoholic. Yeah. I'm born an alcoholic. I'm born a drug user. I don't know. See, those are not permanent. First of all, they're not part of our Buddha nature. The only thing that we know for sure is permanent is our Buddha nature, right? Isn't that true? The rest are all acquired. Qi, that means you acquire it. And now, maybe not in this lifetime because you said you're born with it, right? You're born with an alcoholic. That's because over many lifetimes previously, you never changed. You kept drinking. You enjoy drinking. So eventually, that becomes part of our human nature. Get it? That addiction, if you will. Okay, in this case. Okay, and so that in this lifetime, you're born with that addiction, which is it's like say it's 100% full, maybe not 100. Then you're born alcohol. Okay, so do not think that, right? Likewise with geniuses, prodigies, same thing. They learn how to play piano at 2 years old, Mozart or whatever. But that's because over many lifetimes they accumulated that skill or that talent. Get it? So it's not your Buddha nature that says that does that. Okay, so that's why all phenomena are not fixed. Make sense? So too are our habits and temperament or human nature. That is why we can change it. That's why we can change our habits. Make sense? Right? That's the rationale. That's the reason. Because it's not part of your Buddha nature. Those are all qi, something that's acquired. Then you can right? You can also get rid of it. It takes a lot of will, of course, determination, obviously. That's why it's called difficult and easy, right? Right? Okay. So the key is this. How do we deal with these difficulties? How can we, reduce the difficulty? Maybe. Okay, you can say that. Reduce the degree of difficulty. So we have to be close to the principles. That's very important. That's why we have to learn. We have to study, learn, and cultivate. Practice. Okay? Then cultivation will be easy. If we are far apart, then cultivation will be difficult. Make sense? Right? He gave examples, guys. In his lecture, okay, he said, if a person who loves to, it's called dining, eating, drinking, whoring, and gambling. Okay, so if we have, obviously that's not close to the principles, right? Obviously, right? So if we have that habit or addiction, then I'm pretty darn sure cultivation will be very difficult. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay, all right. Okay, he used those phrases. Okay, it doesn't sound nice, but I don't want to put it down. But okay, all right. So hence, because no phenomena is fixed or permanent, that's important to know. And as long as we are determined, then we can achieve and become enlightened by getting rid of our habits and temperament, which are not part of our original nature. Make sense? Okay. So that's a little bit more deeper meaning of that phrase. Okay, of that phrase. Okay, not just because there's difficulty and easy, they complement each other or stuff like that. That's not very meaningful. Okay. All right. Now next one. Hey, this is interesting. 长短, right? Long and short, or people say length and shortness. 相形, 形 means mutually contrasting, 相形, okay, or compare to each other. So you can compare, right? You take two ropes, okay? One is longer and one short. And you can say, oh yeah, one's long, one's short, or stuff like that, okay?
Contrast.
Yeah, contrast. So that's why I say reveal each other. I mean, we could say contrast each other, but that doesn't sound nice. Reveal. It reveals. Oh, one is long, one is short, or whatever. Okay? So long and short are relative, right? Makes sense. And what is long in one case, though, may be short in another case, and vice versa. Depends, right? So it's relative. Makes sense? Okay? So this is the basic understanding. So, you have to ask yourself, why is Lao Tzu saying the obvious? I mean, of course I know, long and short is relative. Of course. So that's not so there's a higher level meaning, okay? And that is what? This is what he said. This is what Lecture Liu said. Long means to understand the principles or truth or the Tao. Short means you don't understand. So one is, you can say, Ming and Wu Ming. You can say that. Okay, you can say that. One who knows and one who doesn't know. Okay. Ignorant and enlightened, you can say. Awakened. Okay, awakened. At least one's awakened and one's unawakened. So that means one who's awakened and one who's not awakened, they review each other. Very interesting. Or they can contrast compared to each other. Make sense? Yeah, you can see a person, let's assume that they are awakened, okay? And they conduct themselves very well. Another person who loves eating, drinking, whoring, and gambling, you look at the two actions, I think you can see the difference, right? Right? Okay, so that's what it is, okay? So someone who understands Tao and acts accordingly will be acknowledged, right? And recognized. Just as well as someone who does not understand prayer and behaves accordingly. Right? Makes sense, right? They contrast. So they reveal each other, you can say that. So we should strive to understand the principles and have our Buddha nature master guide our lives. That's called long. That means you're awakened. You're awakened. You are awakened to your Bodhi mind. You want to, what? Learn and practice, right? The Tao. And not let our sixth consciousness be our master. That's the short. People say, hey, my six senses, I love eating, so I love drinking, okay, stuff like that, okay? So the only way we can do that is by letting our conscience be, not the only way, but the easy way, the simple way. The simple way is to, what? Let our conscience, 良心, be our guide. Because the 良心, according to Lecture Liu, is a part of our Buddha nature. You can say that. Yeah, it's one of the quality, attributes, traits. You can say it's one of the traits of our Buddha nature. Conscience, right? 良心. And that's what also means 善, that good is that conscience, okay, that 良心, okay? So by doing this, we will not fall into unlike, which is what? Driven by our sixth consciousness. Make sense? Okay, so that's what long and short means, okay? Long and short. People say, that's length. No, okay? All right, okay. So then that's the third one, right? Third pair, fourth pair. Now, fourth pair is very interesting. 高上, high, low. Oh, 高下, sorry, 高下. Or they say above and below. Same meaning, above or below. Okay. 相亲, this means 亲, 相亲. Now, it does mean contrast. That's why I didn't put it up here, okay? Because it does mean contrast. But even though literally it doesn't mean that, okay, and I'll get to it. Okay, so we know the first word high. But in this case, Lao Tzu's not talking about relative high or relative low. No, he's not talking about that. That's too basic. I mean, that's need to say. In this case, it means what? A healthy or perfect moral character. So similar to the Chang, similar. But this Chang just means person who understands the principles, okay, or awaken. Whereas this one means, they have a good 品格. 品格 means what? Moral character, right? 下 means selfishness and self-benefit, all that stuff. Ego, the four marks, the 4 marks, 四项, right? Okay, so same thing. Okay, now this word 亲, it literally means to bend, lean, incline, overturn. It means a lot of things. Okay, this is the verb. Okay, there's a noun to it, but we don't need to understand it now. So, but another meaning is to say push and shove. You know that? That's what Liu Jiangshi said. Okay, you can look it up. Okay, he has it here. Okay, it's anyway. The word for push and shove is, where is it? Hold on. I have it right here. Okay, push and shove is 推跟济，推跟济，济公的济 but with a 手旁 Qi. No, it's Qi. It's Ji. No, Ji. J-I. It's J-I.
Yeah, J.
J-I. Ji. Shove. It means to shove. To shove. To shove. So it's Ji Gong the Ji. Not the three. Doesn't have the three. Yeah, it means push and shove. Or jostle. You can say jostle. Elbowing. Example, push and shove. Everybody takes the subways during rush hour. Ooh, when the door opens around rush hour, boo! Push and shove. Isn't that true? That's called jostling, right? You need space, man. Elbow room, right? I need to squeeze in. Squeeze in. Ji. That's what I'm saying. Ji. Yeah, squeeze. Yeah, ji. Yeah. And also he says it means to win or lose. That's what Liu Jiangzi said, okay? To win or lose. Because what does that mean? What does that mean? Because, okay. Oh, wait. Okay. I'm not going there far. Let's talk about basic meaning, okay? In life, there will always be those who have more than us, and we should be humble. Obviously, those people above us, right? Gao, right? Gao means above, right? Those people who are above us, they have more, right? Trump has more money than me, so it's okay. I mean, so we should not be too proud, right? Okay, so we should be humble. There's always somebody better than you, or whatever, more capable than you, more knowledgeable than you, whatever. Okay, all that, or higher status, right? So we should still be humble. Okay, that's the basic meaning. Likewise, there will always be those who have less than us, so we should be content and not greedy. Okay, so it teaches. So there it's merits, right, between the high and low, okay, or above and below. Okay, all right. But the deeper meaning is this: we can let our healthy moral character either win or lose out to our selfishness and self-centeredness. We can let it. It's up to us. It's up to us. You get it? So that's why you're squeezing, jostling, we have that, right? We always have that. Yeah, the two angels. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, one's good one telling you good. The other one saying, no, you're dumb, man. I mean, why are you giving up all that stuff, right? It's like that. So it's like jostling, right? Pushing and shoving, right? Get it? Make sense? Okay, so it's either we can let it win or let it lose. I mean, let our moral character lose out. Make sense? So that's why I say they contrast each other. Okay? All right. So we are the embodiment. What we have to remember is that we are the embodiment, the sancai, right? We say sancai, right? It's not those three talents that we see at the Dharma class. We have the three talents within all of us. Sancai, right? Three talents, three treasures. It's heaven, earth, and man. It's part of that 1, 2, 3. It's similar to the 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's parallel. Okay, what's the heaven? It's our Buddha nature, right? I think earth is our body, is it? And man is the spirit, or something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. So, but the key is this: we should strive to be as lofty and noble as the heavens, and magnanimous and tolerant as the earth, and not become selfish, self-centered, and arrogant. Get it? We are the embodiment of heaven, so we should be as noble and lofty, right? And the earth as wide, as tolerant, as magnanimous, generous, etc., right? Make sense? Okay, so whatever we say and do has to conform with the principles of the heaven and earth. Makes sense? Because what? Heaven and earth cannot speak, but we can, and we represent heaven and earth. So therefore we can speak as heaven and earth would speak. Get it? Okay? By not saying nonsense or superfluous, we will not create karma and suffer. Make sense? So we've got to be careful what we say when we are speaking on behalf of heaven and earth. Make sense? We better be careful, okay? It's part of those the san, the ko, right? The yi ko sen, right? The four, those four things that we can't say, right? And that's the basic. Okay, so just remember that, because we're gonna create karma once we say it, and never mind we think about it, we're gonna create karma. Okay, but say okay. So that's the fourth one. Okay, then the fifth one, and the words now it's leading to sound. Okay, so now Derek used music. I said, yeah, music is good, music and voice, because he's using that to demonstrate. Oh, music! Look at music. There's the melody. Oh, not melody and harmony. There's the lyrics and the music. I think that's called it. Lyrics is the words, right? So it's voice, and music is the instrument. Okay, so I think that's. It's music, I don't know, it's lyrics and something. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so they harmonize each other. And this just makes sense. Okay, so first word literally means note or musical note. Okay, okay. Now, but according to Lecture Liu, okay. So anyway, okay. Well, I don't want to jump ahead, but doesn't matter. But also implies. Just remember, it's something that's minute, indistinguishable, imperceptible, or indiscernible sound. Okay. That's the first word. Okay, yin. Okay, I like the word tone better, but that's okay. Okay. The second word literally means sound or noise, right? Sound, noise, or voice, but it implies a discernible or perceptible or manifested sound. Okay? So that's the two. One is like the beginnings of a sound, but it doesn't you can't it's not perceptible as a note or music, okay? Or tone, okay? It's just like the beginning of a sound, okay? And then the second one is but once you combine the two, that's why I say 相合, right? Okay. It means we harmonize each other, okay? All right, so the basic meaning is that both music and voice both exist in life. Okay, that's what that's what Derek Lin said. It's just true. I mean, yeah, there's the music that has no voice, right? And then there's a human voice, right? So anyway, okay, so you combine together. There you go. The tone represents a sound that has not manifested or formed. That's why I say it's minute, indistinguishable sound. The voice represents a sound that has formed and manifested. Okay, all right. Voice could means words too, okay? All right? The tone could mean non-words. So like, when you, example, when you have babies, right? You ask the baby how to talk, right? When they're, I don't know, 5, 6 years old, they're trying to make some sound, right? That because they don't know language, right? So they're trying to say, da, g. So that's like this. That's like a sound that has not been formed because they don't know the words. But then once they learn, oh, mama, dada, okay, then that's this. Get it? Okay, makes sense? Okay, so okay, all right, okay. So, and now this is what Liu Jiangshi said. It's very interesting. He goes, the tone, although from the void, resonates in space. Woo, that's a good, huh? So it says, 因 虚而空应, right? So it says, yeah, resonates in space. Okay, all right. 应, respond, resonates good because we're talking about sound, okay? Then the voice, although manifested, came out, it's formed, it calls in the void or sounds in the void. But I don't want to say sound. So 声音死, right? 音死 means it's real. It manifests. It's formed. It comes out. 但是 but 虚名. 虚 means void. Get it? Okay, so that's the relationship. So another way of saying is tone is sound that has not formed, but brewing, fermenting, okay, in the process. It's in the process. It's fermenting. And voice is sound that has manifested. That is perceptible. It's discernible. You can understand it. Make sense?
Oh yeah, I mean the voice is, it's a combination of tones. Basically,
Correct.
Combine the tones
Yeah.
to form
Some kind of
something.
word
Something.
or word, like a word. Like because say daddy or mama is two tones, right? Ma, and ma, right? Or different notes, okay, whatever. So that's why I say, it's note, tone is like a note, okay? All right. Yeah, that's what he said. It's yun niang. That's what this is right here. Brewing. Yun niang. Yun. It's it's this word. Yun niang. He used this word. I think it's yun, right? Yun niang. Niang is it's a similar word. It's lang and this radical. It's lang, right? And this radical. Okay? Yun yang. That means to brew, to ferment. Okay? So that means the tone is in that process. It's still not yet fully formed yet, or ripe, or whatever. Okay, mature. Okay, so that's what it means. So hence both tone and voice are in harmony with each other. Make sense? You have to combine the two. That's what it means. Okay. So as long as we can. So what does that mean? Okay, we're not learning music history or sound theory or whatever. Okay, audio theory. But the key is, as long as we can manifest from our Buddha nature, then whatever is manifested will not deviate. Get it? And that all leads back to the first two sentences, right? From the ideal, right? Everything's from that ideal point, right? Right? It leads back. Okay. So it ties back. Okay. So now the sixth one. This is the last one. Okay. Last. Literally means front and back or before and after. See, I don't like use front and back. I think before and after is better because it meant notion of time. Because so that's it. Okay. And then what's 相 means each other, right? And 随 means to follow. Literally it means to follow. Accompany. You can say accompany. So both before and after or front and back, they accompany or they follow each other. Make sense, right? So the basic meaning is that we are both ahead, front of the pack, and behind. That doesn't mean in life. Okay, there will always be people either older than us and people younger than us, or we are we are followers of somebody, but we're also leaders of some people. Example. Okay, that's what it means. Okay, the deeper meaning is it's not talking about that in life. It's talking about existence, birth. So before means prior to our physical manifestation or birth or existence. So it's like to say 先天, okay, you could say that. Okay, after means what? We're already here. Okay, that's what it means. So if the prior causes are good, then the posterior or after, right, results will be ideal. Make sense? So like when we reincarnate, okay, example, right? So the prior causes, are good in our previous life, then of course we're gonna have what? Karmic rewards, right, etc., etc. Thus, it is the same in our daily lives. So whatever thoughts of actions we have, whatever consequences will follow. Okay, that's what it means. Okay, all right. Okay, makes sense. Okay. Wow. I'm almost finished. Sorry, it's too much time. So now so that's the third sentence, long. Okay. Then the fourth coming up. Okay. So therefore, 是以, right? You can say thus. Therefore, sages, 圣人. We translate sages. We don't.
I'll say saint.
Sages, yeah, 圣人. Yeah, you could say. Yeah, I think sages is a little bit broader. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, basically sages are people who have divinely inspired wisdom. You can say that. Yeah, people who are wise. Have that. You can say awakened or enlightened beings. Okay, but it does not mean a holy person. Okay, that's what he said. Like Derek, and it makes sense because it's true. Holy person, could be a guru, but they may not be enlightened. Okay, so understand. Gurus. Okay, all right. By the way, this term, he said, appears 30 more times in the classic sentence. So that's why it's important to understand what it means. Okay, I mean to get the definition right. Okay, so just the higher meaning is basically this: those who manifest the Mahaprajna of our Buddha nature. That's what a 圣人 means. Okay, all right. Okay, now in Lecture Liu he combined the two, but I broke it down. Okay, this is very important, and Derek did that too for a reason, because he goes 处为无之事. This is a very important concept here. Okay, 处 means to manage, to deal with. Yeah, so deal with sounds too low. Manage sounds better. Okay, so 事 means work, right? Work, right? That means work. Okay, so 无为之事, right? So because you have to do it in one phrase. I mean, so it means we translate as detach actions. Very important. Okay, detach. Okay, so basic meaning. Okay, 无为 is very important. Okay, means without any agenda, like in his previous class this morning, right? We talk about 无为, right? Okay, that's non-condition, or literally it means not for. 无为, that's what it means. Literally. Okay, so the deep inner meaning just means without a desire-driven attachment or a reason or purpose. There's no reason or purpose, no need. Okay. By the way, this term appears 12 times 12 times. Okay, so that's a very important term. So 圣人 and 无为 appears the most number of times throughout the 5,000 words or so, right? Okay. Anyway, so the term, however, 无为, very important, should not be translated as inaction, non-action, non-doing. One of the most mistranslated terms in the classic. That's what Derek Lin does point out, which is true. Because if you read a lot of translations, because Tao Te Ching is one of the most translated works, you're going to find a lot of, these guys are professors, scholars, PhD. They use the term inaction, which is not true. That mixes, you know why? And Derek explains, so you guys should what? They use way as to do, as a verb, when it's not supposed to be a verb. Right now, it's supposed to be a preposition. For, right? For is a preposition. I don't know. Or something. Or intent, right? They use it as action, and that's wrong. Get it? Not doing. So that's why a lot of people, they misinterpret this, from this sentence. Say, therefore, the sages, right, Act without doing anything. Act without doing anything. Or accomplish anything by not doing anything. What the heck? That's like some paradox. So that's mistranslation. And missed the whole point. They missed the whole boat.
Or they say it's basically it's they're passive. It's
Right. Inactivity. Right. That's wrong too. So be careful. Okay. So now what the real wu wei means, and that's why it goes to your first class. Okay. It's similar to suchness, thusness, not subject to cause, non-conditioned. All of these spontaneous, detached from reason. It should be comma without intentions or desires. Okay. Make sense? Okay. Motiveless. That's what they say. Non-motive. Okay. The higher meaning is this, and this is what Lecturer Liu said. It's our Dharma Dhatu. It's our Dharma Fasen of our Buddha nature or essence. Okay, that's what it is. So sages, the correct understanding is this: they act without intentions or attachment. So wu zuo zuo wei, and without what? Qi tu, right? Qi tu means what? Qi tu means what? Ambitions, right? Qi tu, or names and appearances. Ming xiang. Get it? That's part of the 5 categories, okay? This is part of so that means where they don't have those 3 subtle conceptions, okay? All right, okay. So let me just finish this. So just as the heavens and earth constantly create and move without any intentions or attachments, they just naturally do, spontaneous do. So and the 4 seasons naturally run its course. All mere things naturally grow in the spring, and then they die in the winter, etc., right? And society, all this is natural, spontaneous, without any intentions or desires. Make sense? Thus, sages realize this and how the heavens and earth, and so they act in accordingly in dealing with all matters. And that's what the translation of this sentence means. Okay? All right. Okay. I'm sorry, we don't have enough time, but you guys can read the rest when we do the handout. Okay. So I like to. There are many things maybe I did not say satisfactory. I like to beg the Buddhas and heavens forgiveness. Thank you.